Because GIS data has an attribute table attached to it or a database attached to the geography, we can ask our map questions based on those attributes, and we can essentially do selection of features that meet certain criteria that we establish. So here we have school districts, and if I open up the table to examine what attributes are available, I see at the end of the table that there are some demographic variables added here. We have total population, median household income, and unemployment rate. So I'm going to ask some questions based on those variables. And to do that, I'm going to go to the Find Locations Analysis tools. And here you're going to find a tool called Find by Attributes and Location. Now, before we go any further, we're doing a Find by Attributes, essentially what's in the table that we can ask questions about. But you can also ask questions based on location, essentially a feature's proximity to other features. So, for example, how many students are completely within Lancaster School District, or how many schools are completely within Upper Dauphin School District. You can ask questions based on their location relative to one another. So we're going to begin with looking at Find by Attributes. So I select this tool, and then this is where we build the question that we're about to ask the map. So we click on Build New Query, and then you have three different options here. And again, we're doing an attribute expression. So we're going to select that and hit Next. And this is where we then build our question. You need to select a field, a value from the fields, and then establish a relationship between them. So in this case, I want to know how many school districts in the service area have a median household income greater than 75,000. So I'm going to come here and type that in with no comma, and then click Add, and that adds my expression to this area here. And then you provided an output name, and I'm going to call it SD for school district income 75K. Excuse me. And then click Run. And from here, the tool will create a new data set showing only those school districts that meet those conditions. So it will take it a moment to run, but when it does finish, it will add the data layer to your layer list so that you have it there. And this is probably one of the most powerful features of GIS is the ability to ask your map questions and get fast, accurate answers back. So here we have those school districts that meet that criteria. So if we want to know which ones and how many, we can come back to the table, and it will give us the names of the districts. Here we can see that, and then we can see by looking here that 61 of the school districts have a median household income higher than $75,000. So pretty cool that it's able to, extract information like that. I'm going to come over here and shut this off. Actually, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to mention one more thing before I move on. When we run queries, we're running queries because we want an answer. And in this case, we wanted to know, well, which school districts meet this criteria. And oftentimes you want to be able to extract the results. And you can do that in a couple different ways. But the main way that I'll mention, and I'm going to go back here to my other tools, now that you have the answers and you want, like, let's say this in a spreadsheet, we can come here to Manage Data, go to Extract Data, and then we can essentially just put in the layer that we want to extract, which is the one that's with the answers, and we set it as the extent as the same as the one that we want. And then you can export it as a variety of different formats. CSV is the one that you would select if you want to open it in Excel, and geodatabase, shapefile, and KML, as you learned last week during the finding and managing data, they're GIS file formats. So if we were going to use this in the desktop software, we could be able to export this data to be able to use in desktop software. So just remember that you have this little trick here to get data out once you need answers to certain questions. So now that we have asked a very simple question, let's ask a question that has a little bit more complexity to it. Let's go back to find attributes, and let's ask a more detailed question, because that was just one variable, but you can ask a question with as many variables as you want, so long as that data is in your attribute table. And now you might be wondering, well, what the heck if it's not in my attribute table? That's where that enriched data tool comes in from last week. You can add variables to your data set by using enrich data, where you can add all sorts of demographic variables to your data set. So here I am. I'm going to build a new query. And again, I'm going to do attribute query. And I want to do now, I want to do total population is greater than, let's say, 100,000. And then I want to add another one, and I want to do median household income is greater than, let's say, $80,000. And then hit add, and then give it a unique name. And I'm going to call this pop income. Terrible name, I apologize. And then hit run. And while I'm here talking about naming your data, this becomes really important, and don't overlook it, because if you ever want to use this data again, you have to remember what the heck the data is, because it goes into your content folder, and you want to name it something that makes sense to you, that you will be able to recall if you have to. So like these queries, like I've been trying to name them like similar to what their what the data is representing, so that I know. So if we scroll out, boom, look at this. The only one that meets this particular criteria is shown here, and that happens to be, I believe that is Central Dauphin School District. So that's the only one that has a population of over 100,000 and a median income. I used 75. I thought I used 80. I did use 80 of $80,000. It just happened to use, that's just the file name of the previous. So how cool is that we were able to whittle down data based on those kind of criteria? So that's how you use select by attribute. Is probably one of the most powerful tools in GIS, because it allows you to ask your map questions and get fast, accurate answers back.